Kelsey Dumb strikes again.
Just united front was determined this morning that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very that really needed to be mentioned.
That was ridiculous. That was childish, and Sabrina had to let it be known. I don't really think that was necessary. She tried to laugh it off, but Sabrina's not feeling you saying that.
Sabrina Ionescu's eye roll might just be the most powerful and unforgettable moment in WNBA history. The 2025 All-Star Game press conference quickly spiraled out of control after Kelsey Plum unexpectedly called out Team Caitlin Clark. According to Plum, Clark and her teammates seemed completely disconnected during Saturday morning's players-only meeting, where they planned the Now Veer shirt demonstration. Her comments sparked tension, leaving everyone stunned. Sabrina didn't hide her feelings either, clearly unimpressed. Her reaction said it all. Plum claimed that Clark's squad didn't care enough to engage in something that meant a lot to the rest of them.
Now, Sabrina Ionescu quickly, swiftly, and in a hurry kind of tried to stop Kelsey Plum from taking these little shots, but she didn't care.
Sabrina Ionescu did not like this at all, and you could tell just by the way she looked. The tension in the room was impossible to ignore. Her expression and body language said everything, loud and clear. Plum's comment wasn't just bold, was out of line and completely unnecessary, especially with Caitlin Clark not even present to defend herself. But what followed proved exactly why Caitlin Clark stands in a league of her own, far above the drama. Instead of reacting or adding fuel to the fire, she chose silence. She waited, and when she finally responded, it was quiet, sharp, and perfectly timed. That calm strength hit harder than any heated on-camera response ever could.
I need media training, bro. Like, I hate to say, y'all really need media training. This was so unnecessary. And then you gonna take shots after that trash game y'all displayed?
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted the world to believe every player stood together, side by side, pushing for change. The All-Star Game was meant to be about unity. Every athlete who made it to Indianapolis proudly wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts before tip-off, a bold, emotional stand for fair pay and better working conditions. The image was powerful. The message was loud. Rivalries aside, we're in this together. Fans and media celebrated the moment. Finally, the spotlight shifted from drama to solidarity. Even Kelsey Plum called it a powerful experience, explaining the protest was planned that morning during a players-only meeting. But just minutes later, she completely shattered that message by publicly blaming Clark's team for not being part of the meeting. That moment of calling them out took the focus off advocacy and brought the drama back in. And of course, social media ran with it. People mocked the whole display. Because how can you preach unity, yet so quickly point fingers? How can you demand change when you can't even stand by each other? That's when the message got lost in. The unity felt like a performance.
Sabrina Ionescu did not like this shit, by the way.
And you can just see, even with the way Sabrina Ionescu's reacting, she's like, what did you just say?
And right in front of Sabrina Ionescu, right there, right next to her, you have no shame. This woman is just trashy, dog. Like, Kelsey Plum is trashy, bro. There's a reason why Darren Waller left her. Smart man, by the way, because his salary was pretty nice when he signed with the Giants.
Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind? You really stood there and said not one member of Team Caitlin Clark was present. Do you know how that makes all of you look now? Caitlin joined you to show unity, to stand beside you, and this is how you repay her, by taking shots at the very person responsible for over 55% of the WNBA's business. The irony couldn't be more painful. These same players, asking for better pay, are now dragging the one athlete who brought in the ratings, the fans, the media deals, and the sponsors that made those pay raises even possible. And then there was Sabrina's reaction. It didn't just go viral. It grounded the moment. Her deadpan sarcasm and awkward body language showed exactly what the audience was feeling. Did Plum seriously just go there? While Caitlin stayed silent, Sabrina's stunned face said it all. As Plum threw shade at players who weren't there to defend themselves, Sabrina instantly realized the damage her teammate had just done. Seconds. A powerful moment of solidarity turned into a PR disaster, one that didn't just look bad. It felt like betrayal.
The shirts read, "Pay us what you owe us." And of course, everybody clowned that.
You said you wanted to look united, right? You wanted to make it look like y'all all were on one accord. You wanted to make it look like the advocacy was there between you all. And you come out and say 0 members of Team Caitlin Clark was there. How do you think that make y'all look now?
She joined you guys to stand as a one united front, and then you go and take shots at her when she's responsible for more than 55% of the business? Are you crazy? Have you lost your damn mind?
This wasn't just any awkward moment. This was personal. Keep in mind, Ionescu was originally picked for Team Caitlin Clark before Clark had to pull out due to injury. That connection still mattered. Sabrina clearly felt a sense of loyalty, and that made Kelsey Plum's harsh comment cut even deeper. Plum wasn't just calling out random players, she was firing at her own all-star teammates, and Sabrina wasn't about to let that slide. Her reaction wasn't silent. Support it was a clear message, a reminder that loyalty still means something, and that calling out your own squad in front of the world isn't just bold, it's reckless.
We know your league doesn't make a profit, and the only hopes of it making a profit is that lady right there on my screen.
Y'all only got close to the green for the first time ever because of Caitlin Clark's there.
You tried to get them more money last year behind the scenes. They still didn't like you. You came out and spoke out for black women and black women athletes, especially black women basketball players. They still don't like it. Don't matter what you do. The peers of the WNBA do not mess with you. It just is what it is.
That perfectly timed eye roll in dry response beer class. In that instant, Sabrina Ionescu showed more maturity than the veterans sitting right beside her. It didn't take long for the NBA world to take notice. Stacey King, former NBA champion and longtime teammate of Michael Jordan, didn't hold back. He slammed Plum's comment as nothing more than a petty jab at Caitlin Clark. And when former NBA champions start commenting on what happens at a WNBA press conference, you know it. Struck a nerve. The moment wasn't just tense, it was unforgettable.
You know what? Caitlin Clark didn't have to do that. She didn't have to wear the shirt or anything, but she did it out of solidarity and good faith to help support the WNBA and the other players. What do? You discredit her and discredit everybody on her team about it.
This isn't just random social media noise, it's respected voices from across the basketball world calling out unprofessional behavior. And that speaks volumes about how far Caitlin Clark's influence really goes. The way she's being treated isn't just a WNBA issue anymore, it's a full-on basketball story. The more this drama plays out in public, the clearer it becomes. Players like Plum aren't coming off strong, they're coming off rattled, defensive, and out of touch.
These women are insufferable. They don't deserve more money. They don't get any ratings outside of Caitlin Clark. They openly disrespect her. They don't deserve Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve a league.
Caitlin Clark, I want her to clap back so bad. She needs to clap back, man. Stop being nice. Stop doing people favors. Stop trying to help a sister out. Stop doing all that stuff, bro. These are some ungrateful hyenas.
From a business standpoint, the situation becomes even more absurd. Even though Caitlin Clark didn't play, the All-Star Game still packed the house at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. But the moment her absence was confirmed, reports say ticket prices dropped by over 50%. That speaks volumes.
Part of me just does wish you would be like, look, man, I'm tired of y'all disrespecting. I'm tired of y'all hating and taking shots. Go figure this out on your own. Let me see y'all get a deal done without me, without my numbers, without my fans who y'all all claim was racist. Y'all called all of her fans racist, but you want to use the numbers supported by those same racist fans. You want to use those numbers to try to get more money.
If there's one thing this entire situation makes crystal clear, it's who's truly driving the attention, money, and momentum behind the WNBA. Whenever Caitlin Clark is on the court or even just linked to a game, TV ratings soar. Her impact has shattered viewership records and caused merchandise sales to explode, especially in cities where she plays. Simply put, Clark is the main reason the league is experiencing this major financial boost. That surge in popularity and revenue is exactly what's giving players the power to even discuss better pay. So when some athletes wear shirts saying "pay us what you owe us" while also throwing shade at Clark, it's hard not to see the hypocrisy. They're publicly criticizing the very player whose rising star is creating those new opportunities for everyone.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
Let's be serious here. This goes far beyond just dollars and cents. It exposes a troubling cultural divide within the WNBA. No league can thrive when its players seem more focused on stirring up personal drama than pushing the game forward. Caitlin Clark has done more to bring national attention to women's basketball than anyone in recent memory. Yet instead of building on that momentum, Some players seem intent on creating friction, most of it targeted directly at Clark for reasons that defy logic in basic business sense. The way she's handled the chaos with quiet strength, while a few veterans act like high school mean girls, only highlights the massive professionalism gap. It's obvious who's moving the league forward and who's holding it back by throwing stones from the sidelines.
Taking a shot like this at the player that's the only reason you're in a position to ask for more money is crazy, and that's a fact.
Them relying so heavily on Caitlin Clark, one player, to generate their money, it's going to take some time, man, to get y'all those $200-300 million contracts, bro. It just is. This isn't like a one and done thing that's going to take, you know what I'm saying, a year or two. Y'all got to show proven years of winning. And the way y'all attacking Caitlin Clark, beating her up, battering her, I don't know what the future even look like for y'all with viewership and entertainment.
This recent dust-up isn't just a one-time flare-up, it's part of a troubling pattern that's been growing all season long. Instead of embracing the wave of attention Caitlin Clark has brought to the WNBA, some players seem fixated on tearing her down. The latest example came from Kelsey Plum, who took a completely unnecessary shot at Clark during a press conference, while Clark wasn't even there to respond. Sidelined with an injury, it's become a clear and unsettling trend. Players going out of their way to discredit the very person whose rise is unlocking new opportunities for everyone. It's self-sabotage at its worst, cutting down the golden goose right in front of a national audience.
Let's be serious here. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing in the numbers. We watched the ticket prices drop 50% when Caitlin Clark was announced that she will not be participating due to her injury. The ticket prices dropped by 50% for an All-Star Game. That should tell y'all other you're not as popping as you think you are. I'm sorry.
What's worse is that this petty behavior has now become part of the mainstream narrative. When NBA legends and top sports analysts start openly calling out WNBA players for how they treat their biggest star, you know the problem runs deep. These aren't fringe opinions, these are respected voices across the basketball world. Social media went wild when WNBA players ranked Caitlin Clark as only the 9th best guard in the league. Fans and analysts called the list a complete joke. The backlash was instant, intense, and it didn't fade. It dominated headlines and feeds for days. And instead of reflecting or course-correcting, players like Plum doubled down, reinforcing the same damaging message. It turned into a full-blown PR nightmare, one that could have been easily avoided if players had even a basic sense of how to protect and uplift the league's image.
How did we get to an All-Star game in Indiana where Caitlin Clark is not healthy enough to play? Well, it all started last year, in her rookie season, where she received 20% of all the flagrant fouls in the league. And most of them came from Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. And these weren't basketball plays. They were not only fouling her, but they were getting up, laughing about it, laughing about Caitlin Clark getting assaulted. Any other work environment, people go to jail for what's going on.
You're going to push too far, and a massive group of fans will finally say, enough is enough. We've never seen anything like this in professional sports. Other leagues don't constantly insult their own fan bases the way this one does. It keeps happening, players talking down to the very people spending money to support them. In no other job do you get to publicly shame your customers. This is a high-profile career, seen by the world, and more than anything, this controversy shows a major disconnect between how some WNBA players see their value and what actually drives interest in the league.
You're going to mess around, and a large, massive group of fans are going to be like, enough is enough. We've never had to see anything like it in sports, but you don't see these other leagues going around talking crazy about their fan bases all the time, like this league does. It's continuous. They're running their mouth about the people that are paying money to see them. You don't have other jobs where people walk up. You're in a public job that's in front of the world.
It's heartbreaking because Caitlin Clark hasn't done anything to deserve this kind of hostility. Yet the aggression, both verbal and physical, just keeps coming. And it's not only from opponents. It's from players within her own league. When you add in shady all-star voting, petty press conference comments, and an alarming rise in questionable referee calls, the picture becomes disturbing. Instead of rallying around the star, who's drawing in record attention and revenue, the WNBA is tearing itself apart from within. Even the officiating is under fire as fans and analysts highlight missed calls and Clark's inconsistent treatment. This isn't how pro leagues treat once-in-a-generation talent. Usually, they protect that player, promote them, and use their spotlight to lift the entire league. But here, it's claws out.
And last year, I noticed how much it was just Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was taking all the hits. Caitlin Clark was taking all the abuse. But this year they've added Sophie Cunningham. She gets more flagrant fouls on her than anybody in the league besides Caitlin Clark. And Aaliyah Boston, she's been taking hits as well. But the worst thing is the consistency. So they don't call flagrant fouls, or most of the time, Caitlin Clark could be held for an entire game at a time. They don't call fouls. They don't call common fouls. But then when it's the Indiana Fever, guess what? Touch foul here, touch foul here. They call absolutely nothing.
And that's the real tragedy. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark, it's about what her treatment reveals about the WNBA's culture. When players from multiple teams repeatedly undercut the league's biggest star, it points to a deeper problem, not just isolated jealousy. Successful leagues thrive by spotlighting their top talent, crafting compelling stories, and building a culture of respect and shared purpose. But the WNBA seems stuck in a loop of drama, negative press, and self-inflicted damage. The game itself, phir, gets pushed aside. From a business angle, it's a disaster. Clark is driving ticket sales, TV ratings, and sponsor interest, bringing in money for everyone. Yet some players' actions are chasing away the very fans and investors the league needs to grow.
Then grateful for the brighter stage they now get to perform on.
Really unfortunate that Caitlin Clark missed it. The crowd would have been exploding. The crowd would have been exploding. The arena would have been exploding. Oh man, a big miss as far as the WNBA is concerned.
And that
the saddest part of all is this what was meant to be a moment of unity turned into yet another painful reminder of the toxic climate surrounding Caitlin Clark. The "pay us is what you owe us" shirts should have sent a powerful message for fair pay and respect. Instead, it became a symbol of hypocrisy. Players demanded more money while openly targeting the very woman driving that financial growth. To casual fans and corporate sponsors watching from the outside, it all looks chaotic, divided, and unprofessional. Clark deserves better, not just because of her talent, but because she's faced this storm with maturity far beyond her years. The WNBA could be standing at the edge of a golden era.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. She's injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends, and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.